use in order to introduce the concept of a measure. We want child to translate the entire street of houses into musical bars. I would like you to notice that each street has a name, and that name is 2-quarter street, 3-quarter street, and 4-quarter street. And the missing bars are given as stickers. So obviously the task is to place stickers in the correct place. But the reason we chose to show you this page is because it is a good example of another method we use in the book, and that is to help child make up conclusions that are correct on his own by giving him a controlled task in which he can really not make a mistake. The important thing to say is that these stickers you can use over and over again. You can glue them and then you can unglue them. They're made from material that enables children to correct their mistakes either made in the first place. So what the child begins to understand as he progresses through this task is that time signature does not indicate the number of quarter notes, but it indicates actually the number of beats per measure. This is how the task goes. Complete. The second to the last chapter has the purpose to introduce the span, the travel and place path, and the general placement of the notes within that step. But really what makes the core of this chapter is the story. It is a short history of music that explains why and how people started writing music. And it also serves to provide additional motivation for the child to continue towards the last chapter, because it tells him that once he learns how to read notes, he gets a special skill. He can go to the bookshelf, pick out a book, and by reading music that is written in that book, he gets the power to discover important messages that people from various times and all kinds of places want him to find out about and to understand. And even more so, he also gains the power to write something that he finds important and that he wants the world to know in the music that he creates later on. That's the problem. Okay, but I put there is this one. The introduction of the notes follow, and we introduce them in groups of 2 and 3, starting from the middle C and moving from that point on. And the reason we start from the middle C is because we want you to use this book starting from 6th chapter on, in combination with other materials in order to provide sufficient examples for sight reading. So on the basis of our analysis, we have determined that most of contemporary piano methods designed for young beginners start from the middle C. And the reason why we introduce these notes in the groups of 2 and 3 is again based in psychology, because what psychological research has shown is that people tend to memorize things better if they learn about them in the context rather than as separate information. After each group of notes is introduced, the set of logical tasks follow, and again, 2 kinds of games. And for those games, we use the cards again from the middle of the book. We can play a memory game, and there is another game that we suggest children to play, and that is make up your own tune game. And here I would like you to remember that these are not new for the child. There was already a memory game in the keyboard chapter of the book, and in the volume chapter of the book, this is the order in which we introduce the notes, and we relate them to the colors featured in the keyboard chapter and to the keys that children know from before. It is some slide. И можно с собой слайд-шоу даже. Проблема без. Не, уреду. So these are the cards we use for those games. So in the volume chapter of the book, children are supposed to make their own tune or their own piece of music based on the illustrations that they associate with loud or soft sounds. So really, the only parameter that was defined was the volume of music. In the rhythm chapter of the book, they were supposed to construct some kind of rhythm tunes, and the only parameter defined was the rhythm. So in this last chapter, we want them to construct their own tunes with kind of close the circle, with having the third element of the sound defined, and that is the height of sound. And this is an excellent way to practice reading notes in the staff with children. First of all, because they can focus only on the placement of the note in the staff. And secondly, because they really like to change the order of these cards in order to make up their own tunes, and they have a sense of achievement because that's something they're doing on their own. They're creating music. And if you provide a accompaniment for them, their sense of achievement is even larger because those little tunes they're creating really sound nice. Once they have learned how to identify the individual notes in the staff, they're ready to embark onto the final step and start reading the actual tunes of music. So, use this page as an example for really all the tunes that appear in the book. And the title of this unit is Melodic Direction. And it's a melodic direction because we want the child to analyze the melodic direction in this particular piece. And the reason we do so is because we want the child, this early on, to understand that reading music goes hand in hand with analysis of the musical text. So what we do is we relate each tune in the book with the action that is happening with the comic characters, and we pair it with a number of logical tasks and some analytical questions. So what is happening here is that Puppy is all set to travel. He is ready to board the train, but there is a problem. The puppy won't reach his destination unless the child helps him, because the puppy is taking the train, and that train is moving on an unlabeled railroad tracks. So what the child needs to do is to help the puppy by labeling those railroad tracks. He will do so by placing arrows in the missing places. So the reason why the child wants to do this kind of analysis is because it is related to the action. He is contributing to the book by doing so. And it is also easy because there are only 2 arrows that he needs to write in order to complete the task. And it's made even easier because the text here says the climbing train. And just as the text here helps child solve the analytical problem, such is the role of the text in each tune. It either poses an analytical question or helps child solve a particular analytical task. But because we want children to exercise analyzing melodic direction more, then we give them another task, and that is to place the stickers of a moving train in the appropriate field. In the similar way, we introduce the concept of the form in music. What has happened in the pages that follow is that Puppy disappeared. Nobody knows where he is until one day children receive a letter from the puppy. And in that letter, Puppy is telling him, I'm not sending you a postcard because I want you to solve this puzzle. When you solve it, you will be able to play the tune I'm sending you. And then you will know where I am, because this tune will remind you of particular countries. So the puzzle is these 2 curvy lines. The task is to fill in the missing names of the keys, and then to compare them to one another, and to compare them to the musical text. On the basis of such comparison, write the missing notes, and obviously the tune is the excerpt from Beethoven's Ode to Joy, so the puppy went to Germany or to Austria. And because Puppy had such a great time, which they find out once the puppy returns, one of the children decides to take the similar trip. And he goes and he takes the same train as he is traveling, he's singing, and in the mountains, his song starts to echo. And this is our way to introduce dynamics in relation to two things, in relation to formal music, because the task is to find the section that repeats and to label it with appropriate dynamic marking. But also, in the same way, we introduced this concept in the volume chapter, and that is in relation to musical expression. Once again, the dynamic is not just the quality per se, but in this case, it portrays the action that is happening in the comic. So what happens with the puppy? By the end of the book is that the puppy graduates, and as a present, he gets a board game, and he gets a little tune that makes him think that actually, well, the knowledge is the most important thing he gains. And what we hope child learns by using Music Starter is not just the understanding of the basic symbols of music notation, but we hope that Music Starter provides a glimpse into what music is all about. And what music is all about, it is about imagination, it is about creativity, and it is about communication. It is a way to connect with our own creative selves and with the creative selves of others. And because Music Starter portrays music as so many different things, as storytelling, playing, making of tunes, we hope it succeeds in providing a solid foundation for the development of a well-rounded music personality in a young child. So thank you for your patience. This was our presentation. We're glad to take your questions if you have them, or if you're in the hurry to get to the synod, then we can also do it. Not in the form of presentation, answer question section. Well, if there is no questions, thank you all for coming.